Good day, my name is Josh Richardson Amalabosa and my partner is Jeremy Manayaga, and we will be talking about different legislations and laws that are connected to the professional teaching profession. First, we will be talking about the Republic Act 4670, which is the Magna Carta for public school teachers. First is outlines the rights and responsibilities of public school teachers in the Philippines, including their salaries, benefits, and working conditions. What are the important concepts within it? Outlines the rights and responsibilities of public school teachers in the Philippines, including their salaries, benefits, and working conditions. For example, a public school teacher who has reached tenure status cannot arbitrarily dismiss from their position without a just and cause due process. Next, we have here the Philippine Constitution, or specifically the 1987 Philippine Constitution. Definition: the fundamental law of the Philippines that establishes the structure of government, defines the powers of its branches, and guarantees fundamental rights and freedoms. Important concepts are separation of powers, checks and balances, Bill of Rights, and the sovereignty of the people. An example for this is that the Constitution protects the freedom of speech and expression, allowing citizens to voice their opinions without the fear of government censorship. Batas Pambansa Bilang 232 or Education Act of 1982. The definition is, this law provides a legal framework for the Philippine educational system, including the organization, governance, and funding of schools. Important concepts are decentralization, the standardization of curriculum, and equitable access to education. An example for this is that the Education Act of 1982 mandates the establishment of barangay high schools in rural areas to ensure that all students have access to secondary education. Next is Republic Act 9155, or the Governance of Basic Education Act of 2001. The definition is that this law aims to improve the quality of basic education in the Philippines by decentralizing the management and delivery of education services. Important concepts are school-based management, accountability, and learner-centered education. An example for this is that under RA 9155, public schools have the autonomy to develop their own school improvement plans and allocate resources based on the needs of their students. Next, we'll be listening to Mr. Jeremy Manayaga.
Thank you for that, Mr. Jules Malabosa. Now, let's move on to the Republic Act 716, or also known as the Special Protection of Children Against Abuse, Exploitations, and Discriminations Act. So this Act 716 provides for the stronger deterrence and special protections against child abuse, exploitations, and discriminations in other purposes. So this law addresses various forms of child abuse, including the physical, sexual, and psychological abuse, as well as the child labor, trafficking, and neglect. So it also outlines the penalties for those who commit such acts against children and mandates the establishment of this program and services aimed at preventing abuse and aiding the victims. This act seeks to safeguard the rights of the children and ensures their well-being and development. So what are the important concepts of these acts? So the child protection, the juvenile justice, and the rehabilitation of child victims are the important concepts of this act. For example, the Republic Act 716 criminalizes child labor and provides support services for the child victims of abuse, such as the counseling and legal assistance. Now, let's move on to the Republic Act 7877, or also known as the Anti-Sexual Harassment Act of 1995. So what does this act for? So 7877 declares sexual harassment unlawful in the employment, education, training environment, and provide a mechanism for the prevention, prosecutions, and the penalizations of the offenders. So this law covers all forms of sexual harassments committed in work-related, educations, or training environment, including the verbal, non-verbal, and physical harassment. So it mandates the establishment of the grievance committees on the workplace and in educational institutions to handle complaints of sexual harassment and ensures that victims receive the necessary support and protections. So the goal of this act is to create a safe and respectful environment free from sexual harassment. So what are the important concepts of this act? So the sexual harassment, hostile environment, and the employer or the school liability. So for example, a university professor who makes unwelcome sexual advances towards a student could be held liable under the Republic Act 7877 and face the disciplinary actions. So now let's move on to the last Republic Act or the Republic Act 10157 or the Kindergarten Educations Act. So what does this Republic Act 10157? So this act institutionalizes kindergarten educations into basic education system of the Philippines and appropriates funds for this purpose. So this act mandates that all 5-year-old children must attend and complete 1 year of kindergarten educations as a prerequisite. Again, prerequisite for entering the grade 1. So this law aims to promote holistic development and prepare for the children for formal schooling and providing them with early childhood educations that focuses on the cognitive, physical, and social and emotional aspects of learning. By institutionalizing kindergarten, the act ensures that all Filipino children have access to quality early educations, which is essential for their lifelong learning and development. So what are the important concepts of this act? So the early childhood educations, school readiness, and holistic development of the children which is 5 years old. So for example, the Republic Act 10157 ensures that all children have access to quality early childhood education programs, setting the foundation of their lifelong learning and development.
Okay, thank you so much, Jeremy Manayaga. So that was it. We were talking about different legislations and laws pertaining to the education sector. Well, those comprehensive legislative framework governing the sector of child protection in the Philippines is a testament to the nation's dedication to fostering a just, equitable, and progressive society. The various laws collectively work to uphold the rights and welfare of educators, students, and children. Each law addresses critical aspects of the educational ecosystem and social protection, ensuring a holistic approach to development and security. These laws provide essential safeguards for teachers' rights and professional growth and guarantee fundamental freedoms and domestic governance, while establishing a standardized yet decentralized educational system and promote early childhood education. Furthermore, they ensure a robust protection against abuse, exploitation, harassment, and fostering safe and nurturing environments for learning and development. Well, these emerges from this comprehensive legal landscape is a recognition of the interconnectedness of educational equality, social justice, and national development by empowering teacher, protecting children's rights, and ensuring equitable access to education. These laws lay a solid foundation for a more informed, empowered, and resilient society. The continued commitment to these principles will be crucial in navigating future challenges and opportunities, ultimately leading to the sustained progress and prosperity for the Philippines. Thank you so much for listening to our discussion, and this has been Josh Richardson, Emma Labosa, and my partner, Jeremy Manayaga. Thank you, and God bless.